We are going to be reading chapter 9 of Masterpiece. It's called The Woman and the Lion. Denny! Hey, how are you? Carl grinned broadly, thrusting out his hand. James, this is Dennis McGuffin, an old friend from my Pratt days. Remember? The art college? Denny? My son James. Denny crouched slightly, winking at James. Not so old, eh, James? It's nice to meet you. I'm always delighted to see young people at an exhibit like this. What are you doing here, Denny? I thought you were out west somewhere. California, wasn't it? Denny nodded. Yes, that's right. I'm at the Getty now, curator of drawings. The Dürer and its Bellini over there are ours. He gestured to a similar picture of a woman and a lion hanging next to the one they were staring at. It was the same size, but Marvin thought it seemed less delicate. The pen strokes thicker. Denny continued. We've got a number of items on loan for this exhibit, and I've been helping Miss Balcony with the arrangements. He beckoned to a woman who was skirting the crowds and walking in their direction, her gaze darting over the drawings. Marvin edged out from underneath James' collar. She was slim and tidy-looking, her blouse tucked in, her honey-colored hair drawn back in a neat bun. Black rectangular glasses sat firmly on her small nose. He saw that she was very pretty, but she had the unselfish, self-conscious manner of someone who was totally oblivious to that fact, which only made her prettier. Marvin liked her instantly. Christina, Denny called to her. Come meet my friends Carl Terrick and his son James. You may have heard of Carl's work. He works at Ernst Auger's gallery. In addition to being one of my favorite people, he's an excellent artist. Christina Balcony approached them smiling. Terrick? No, I'm afraid not. My Freedom series was at Steinholm last fall. Large abstracts? Marvin thought Carl sounded embarrassed but hopeful. No, doesn't ring a bell. Or maybe you saw some of my work at the Whitney Biennial? Christina shook her head. But anything less than 400 years old is quite beyond my area of expertise. Expertise or interest? Carl asked, and Marvin was surprised to hear a note of irritation in his voice. Well, both, I suppose, she said, laughing. I'm sorry. Please don't take my ignorance as any sort of verdict on your work. I'm stuck in the late 1400s. Germany, Italy, Holland. Stuck in the late 1400s? The time of these drawings. Marvin couldn't even imagine how long ago that was. Impossibly ancient in Beatle terms. Christina took Carl's extended hand and gave James a wide smile. Do you like these? James nodded shyly. We do, Carl said, very much, especially the Dürers. Yes, they're lovely. He's our favorite, isn't he, Denny? Whenever one of his comes up for sale, we are always fighting over it. Extraordinary attention to detail and a flawless touch. You can really see it here compared to the Bellini. She turned to James. Same image, different artist. Which do you like better? James looked up at her. That one, he almost whispered, pointing to the Dürer. Me too, thought Marvin. The Bellini was prettier in its way, but Marvin preferred the crisp, certain lines of the Dürer. Why? Christina asked encouragingly. James bit his lip, too shy to answer. Giovanni Bellini was a great Italian artist, she said. Dürer called him the best painter of them all. But he's not nearly as admired, Carl pointed out. Well, at the time he was. Now, he's often overlooked in favor of the big names, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Rembrandt. Christina studied the two pictures, smiling faintly. He went to Venice to learn from Bellini, but look how different the pictures are. The best teachers are like that. They don't teach you how to do things exactly the way they do. They teach you how to be your best self. She pointed at the Bellini drawing. This one is gentle, all curves and shadings. The woman almost seems to be playing with the lion. Marvin could see what she meant. There was nothing particularly threatening about either the girl or the lion, even though the drawing was called Fortitude. Now look at the Dürer, Christina said. He tries to capture Bellini's idea of Italian beauty, but he can't do it. The girl is a German peasant, a real person. Look at her shoulders. They're as massive as the lion's. It will be a fight to the finish, for sure. Denny laughed and said, and my money's on the girl. James nodded. Half hidden beneath his collar, Marvin did too. James likes to draw, Carl interjected. That's why we're here, actually. I gave him a pen and ink set for his birthday, and, well, look what he came up with. He held out the drawing for them to see, grinning. I still can't believe he did this. Christina Balcony stepped forward. Her whole face changed. The pleasant mask of politeness dropped away. She reached for the drawing. Your son drew this? Denny peered over her shoulder and sucked in his breath. Christina crouched next to James with the drawing between them. You made this by yourself? James nodded, blushing. Were you tracing something? No, it's just a copy of what's outside my window at home. Christina straightened and held the drawing at arm's length next to the works on the wall. Look how similar it is to our miniature, the landscape here, she said to Denny. The execution, it's really uncanny. I know, said Carl. That's why we came. I told James this could have been done by a Renaissance master. Christina moved along the wall of pictures, still holding the sheet of paper. The line, it has the same fastidiousness. I wouldn't have thought it possible. Marvin inched forward to hear her words more clearly. She's talking about my drawing, he thought with delight. She's comparing it to these famous pictures. Finally, she turned to them, her face flushed. James, she said, would you come with me? I want to show you something. And that is the end of chapter 9.